Hey, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the Married at First Sight All-Star panel. Sorry for having you guys waiting. A lot was going on today. A busy day. So, hey, we just want to talk a little bit about Married at First Sight. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for waiting. I appreciate each and every one of you for being in the chat, for patiently waiting. Sorry for the lateness. Well, as I mentioned, banquet after banquet after banquet, things for children going on today. It may just be me. It may just be some other people that may be hopping on. Everyone had a busy schedule today. But I did not want to go a weekend without talking about Married at First Sight and hearing some of you guys' input and seeing your input in the group chat. So I appreciate you guys. Hey, if you want to join in. Hey, let me know. Send me an email. I'll put my email in the chat. So if you want to see the email, I'll send you a link so you can hop on. Just give something different tonight. Let you guys get an opportunity to come on and hop on and talk with us about Married at First Sight. Hop on with me and talk about Married at First Sight. Jack may be rolling through here in a little bit, so we want to talk about Married at First Sight. Man, you guys have been tremendous in your support. This has been a wild ride. But again, those who come and look for a panel discussion, some may be hopping on a little bit later if they can. Jack may be joining us a little bit later. It's just me right now, so I definitely wanted to make sure I give you an opportunity to hop on and share some information about Married at First Sight and share your thoughts and share your concerns and your comments about this past week's episode of Married at First Sight. Man, where do I want to get started, man? Let's start with Gina and Clint, man. What do y'all think about Gina and Clint? Has Clint really done a 180, right? Because when we first see Clint or you first think about Clint, you think about how Clint has has changed a little bit. You thought Clint was going to be a prick, thought Clint was going to be snobbish, but Clint has really turned out to be a decent guy, right? Clint has really turned out to be one of the guys that he's really, unless it's just me or he's fooling all of us, Clint has really bought into the process, right? Or what Married at First Sight is all about committing, trying to make it work and try to do the right things, not with his spouse, trying to do the right things with Gina and trying to be there. I think Clint is doing okay in the process. Clint is moving along and progressing their relationship. You can see him building up. We saw some things about Clint this week that, we really cared about. I thought it was big for him to say, look, if we have kids, I want it to be, about us. I want my kid to have my last name. I think that was big. I think Clint does want a family. I think Clint is looking for a family, looking for someone to be with long term. I don't know if Gina's that person. You guys let me know if you think. I don't think Gina is that person that Clint could be long term with. She's still a little iffy with me. Some things just doesn't sit right with me about Gina. So I just want to know. Let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment in the comment section here or drop in the chat. What do you think about Gina and Clint? Will they survive? Won't they survive? We're at the halfway point, right? We're at the halfway point of this Married at First Sight journey. Within the last 4 weeks, what did you see or what did you think about Gina and Clint? Will Gina and Clint survive the next 4 weeks? Do you see them saying yes on decision day? Yeah, I agree with you, man. I agree. Clint has redeemed himself a bit. Not only with you, but I think with a lot of people, Clint has redeemed himself. Clint has redeemed himself a lot, in my opinion. He redeemed who he is. Gina hasn't yet. I mean, she took that comment to heart about the Clint, what Clint used to date, how he used to date some slimmer and more athletic women. She's just now starting to come around, just now starting to feel him a little bit more. I'm happy that she moved in. That's one of the things that was big for her. I'm glad that she was able to move in, that she was able to move into the apartment with him. And I think that makes a big difference in their relationship. That making a big difference in their relationship by them being there. Could you imagine if she had never moved in, what their relationship would be like? It wouldn't have been good. It wouldn't have been good at all. So I think them moving in with each other is definitely a plus. That Gina and Clint would definitely have a plus by them moving in. I think the relationship could go forward and move forward just a little bit. Gina sucks. Let me know, why does Gina suck? What makes Gina suck? Is it that she's so caught up in her business? Is that she's not really caught up in Clint? Is it that she, some people say she look like a Muppet. Some people don't like the way her lips and stuff look. I'm not into all that, but let me know. Just, Gina sucks is very vague. To give you why do Gina suck in your opinion? Is she superficial, right? Is it because she has so many different avenues, different things that she worried about. She just business focused, right, and not focus on her family or focus on the relationship between her and Clint. Clint just seemed like a down to earth guy. He seemed like, you know what, this is what I want. This is what I'm willing to work for. I'm willing to have fun. Let's have some fun. Let's do some things. I thought their honeymoon excursion was pretty good. I thought them trying to take it back or recreate Jamaica was a good idea. I thought it was a great idea them trying to recreate Jamaica because, again, that's where it all messed up at. Sometimes you have to hit the reset button, right? It was willing to hit the reset button and go back to Jamaica or somewhat like Jamaica and started all over again. At least this time they didn't get lost. This time they didn't have a bus driver. They didn't know where it was going. But in this time they had Hank. So it was really able to recreate this with Hank and have a good time. Even when they took the Redneck bus tour, I thought it was pretty good for them, right? That Gina was involved and she was sitting, you can see her body language, right? A little bit different with Clint, that she was sitting closer to Clint, right? Her body language is just a little bit different with him. Even at dinner, she was sitting closer to Clint and they were having more interaction. So I think Gina's trying. Excuse me. I think Gina's trying. But at the end of the day, we got 4 weeks left, and he said Gina found a way to blame all the problems on Clint. Slender commented, everyone overlooked the fact that she started all this. Basically tells the man he was ugly to his face. She did start all this, and I mean, I'm not even gonna forget the fact that she did call the man a ginger. She told him that he was unattractive, that she didn't like gingers, and again, he made the comment back. Whether the comment was out of anger, out of frustration, the comment was out of him trying to get back at her. To your point, Touche, she did start this, right? She started the fact, hey, I'm not attracted to gingers, and he felt like he had to one up her, right? He felt like he had to say, hey, you know what, you may not like gingers, or you're not used to gingers, but what I've dated in the past has been slender and athletic women, and he tried to say you. And if he was saying that, he didn't come out and say you're not one of them. So he decided to do that. But their rebound has been very good. I think they're moving into a process. They're best relationship in the season is Clint and Hank. Man, Hank has really fell in love with Clint, so I hope he does stay there. Clint and Hank should stay together, right? He should take the dog. If it doesn't work out, Clint should take the dog when he leaves. But I don't think that's going to be the case. But again, Gina and Clint has moved and they progressed very, very much in these past 4 weeks. And as of right now, I see Clint maybe saying yes, but I can see Gina saying no. As of right now, that's my opinion. I can see Gina saying, you know what, I don't want anything else to do with you. I don't want to be around anymore. It's about my business. Unless something traumatic happens in the next 4 weeks or something really changes, I think unless they start staying in a room with each other, they're in the same house. But unless they start staying in a room with each other, I think they're just good friends, because I think Clint is in the friend zone right now. He's in the friend zone, and he has to find a way to get out of it. And maybe getting out of it is maybe kissing some more, holding hands some more a little bit intimate stuff. A romantic dinner, right? Not necessarily going to PBR and drinking. That's the Pro Bull Riding Association, or going to the bars and drinking moonshine or things like that. They need to be connected a little bit more, where they have some more chemistry, some physical chemistry, right? I think they need the tantric yoga situation. They need somewhere they can embrace each other, where they can hug, and maybe they need some body painting and something like that. So I do need to see Clint and Gina have a little bit more of a physical attraction to each other than just being in the friend zone. So I really think they are in a quote unquote friend zone. What do you think, guys? Are they in that friend zone with Gina and Clint? And can they get out of the friend zone? I'm not 100% sure if they can get out of the friend zone. I think they're just going to be friends and be ride or die, and that's the way it's going to be. But right now, week 4, 4 weeks in, Gina and Clint, good friends. Not great lovers, but good friends. Again, for those who just joining us, just me right now rolling solo. Some may be joining a little bit later, but I didn't want to go a week without giving you guys a review or a discussion. So I said panel discussion, but it's just me and you guys may be the panel. So I'm going to put a link out there in a minute. If you want to join the panel with me tonight and ride with me, it's cool, man. I'm going to send a link out there. Email me at this. You can email me here. I'm going to put it in there. All right. If you want to email, you want to hop on. Make sure I give you the right email address, right? And do that. But hey, let's go. Let's talk about the other couple, man. I want to talk about. Let's talk about the couple that is Nicole and Chris. Everybody likes that couple, right? Everybody think Nicole and Chris are the best couple on the show. But there's some issues there, man. Nicole is, to me, I like Nicole. I think she likes Chris, but I also think Nicole is very, I don't want to say clingy, but she's really in need of affirmation all the time. And I don't know if Chris is willing to give it to her, as her Clint's dad said. Excuse me, not Clint's dad. Excuse me, as Chris's father-in-law said. Nicole, he needs to put his foot down. Now, somebody said in the chat, one of our comments says, "What do you mean by him need to put his foot down?" I think he has put his foot down in some instances, in some situations. But I think Chris needs to say, "Yo, Chris needs to tell her, like, hey, let me be a little bit. Let me have my moment. Let me have my way. Let me do." Oops, wrong one, guys. Football chat. Let me have my moment. Let me have my way. Let me be able to relax. Let me be able to do this. Some other things. And Nicole has some issues, man. When it comes to her body, and she has some confidence issues in a little bit. To me, that's what it seems like. When you're always asking somebody to affirm you, or you're always asking somebody to give you credit, or you're always asking somebody, hey, to tell me that you love me. Sometimes I think you have to tell yourself first. And then that partner will be able to grow to tell you I love you. Especially in this situation, Married at First Sight. Yo, she has to give him some time to embrace it. Chris, Nicole's dad told Chris that he needs some big D energy, right? He needs to have some energy to give her, basically let her know who he is and what he can do, and how he can take care and handle her. I think he does a great job. I think the honeymoon situation, the anniversary was great. I thought the helicopter ride was good. I think he's doing the best that he can for her. I'll be interested to see what did she actually give him for their month anniversary, because we saw a lot of people give gifts, and that's one thing I don't like about Married at First Sight. I like to see how both sides interact. What did Chris get, right? Because he gave her the helicopter ride, and the helicopter ride was great, and it was romantic, and it was good to fly over the city of Nashville, and everything was great, right? What is it that she's given? What is it that she's giving him that he needs, right? What is it that she's giving him that she needs? Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. Her dad is straightforward. He has no censor, right? Seeing her dad on the episode he has no censor. He said whatever came to his mind, and he meant that, right? He meant exactly what he said. Look, he told Chris whatever came to his mind. So it's one of those things. Nicole has no filter. She's getting there. She's getting better. You can see her. Working a little bit. One thing I thought about Nicole when she got to the table with all the rest of the couples, like, is she trying to be one of the experts, right? Made me think about Gil from the Houston season, right? Had all this marital advice, all this advice for all the couples, everything that this is what we're doing, this is what you should do, this is what you should be doing, this is what we done. We found out on an after party, Nicole was slipping notes under people's doors, right? She's slipping notes under Shaq and Kirsten's door, telling them, hey, y'all should try this, so y'all should do this, and how about trying this, and make sure you kiss her before you go to bed, and make sure you, like, Nicole, are you Pastor Cal and Dr. Pepper? Maybe they should give Nicole a job, right? Maybe the expert should be sliding notes underneath people's doors and say, hey, you need to go ahead and kiss her tonight. This is what you're not doing. Maybe they need to take advice from Nicole. But she needs to continue to work on her own relationship, because I think Chris, they're doing well now. But I'm really interested to see what happens when they have a first blow up, right? When Nicole and Chris have a first blow up, or Nicole and Chris have a argument, or Nicole and Chris have something that they really disagree about, how is she going to handle it, right? If Chris decides to say no to her, and I'm not talking about just a shirt, right? Because you've been married for a long time, or you've been in a relationship for a while, there's some situations that come up that makes you say no. Some days you may not like your spouse. You may not like your partner. How is Nicole willing to handle that when Chris comes up and say, you know what, I'm not doing that? Because what I've seen, y'all let me know what I've seen, Nicole gives in. She is not a confrontational person at all. And it seemed like Chris is having his way, because if you think about it, let's go back a couple episodes when they talked about the lease, and Chris was like, well, I think we should do 9 months. Nicole didn't think it was right to do 9 months, but she was willing to give in just to make Chris happy. Well, you can't always do that in relationships. You can't always compromise. And I still thought the 9-month thing was weird because I'm like, why didn't y'all just go ahead and do a month-to-month lease? A month-to-month lease would have just been suffice, right? It would have made everything that much better if you did a month-to-month lease to see how things will progress in your relationship, see how things will maneuver, and see how things will work out for you guys. That's what I would have did. But Nicole, not there, you know. And then with the way she answered Eris's question about, you know, Eris. First of all, Eris's question was stupid. And I'm gonna say that now. He just asked a question to get attention to be on TV time. There's no difference between how is sex different when you're married to when you're not married. You probably care about the person more. But if you're a caring, loving person in the first place, and you're gonna be a caring, loving person whether you're married or not married, is what you do. Doesn't mean your sex changes when you get married. Your partner may have changed, but again, you're supposed to change in that aspect when you get married, not because you married a divorce, married or in a relationship, because the person that you're dealing with is different, and especially in this case, married at first sight, because who you had sex with before wasn't your spouse, right? This is somebody totally new, somebody you know for a month. He was just asking questions, but Nicole gave the advice or gave the question like, hey, you know, it's different because, you know, sometimes in the morning and right now we're in a period that we always wanted, and it be that way when you're married sometimes. But over time, what happens when you don't get that? And again, she even changed on that aspect of it too, because she was a person that physical touch was way down on her list, if we all remember. But now physical touch is way up on her list because she found somebody who doesn't mind touching her, somebody who doesn't mind giving her some affirmation and stuff. So I like to see Nicole and Chris. I think they're the best couple on the show right now. They're boring. And I don't mean that in a bad way. You're not going to get any entertainment. I don't think there's going to be any drama. I think the biggest drama that we ever will get out of them is the fact that he cried because of 2 dogs. His dogs allegedly couldn't come to the apartment, but they're there. I don't think they're going to have any other drama. It goes back to many other seasons that we talked about where they had they made fictitious drama, right? Drama about Austin and Jessica, the drama between they had with Daniel and Bobby. There's no real drama. There's not going to be any real drama between Chris and Nicole. I think Chris and Nicole are going to be what they are, right? At the end of the day, Chris and Nicole is going to be married. They're going to stay married, in my opinion. At this point, if you had to pick the couple that would stay married after 8 weeks, has to be Chris and Nicole. Every other couple is on the fence for me, but Chris and Nicole is going to be the couple that I think will move on past 8 weeks. And maybe when we get to the reunion, Chris and Nicole, probably the only couple I think that when we get to the reunion, they're still going to be married after the 8 weeks. You know, and that's one of the things with Chris and Nicole, man. I like the fact that they are still together. I don't know if they can always give couples advice. What do y'all think? Do y'all buy Chris and Nicole's advice for the other couples? Oh, do you think the table situation when all the couples were together was staged? Was they feeding Chris and Nicole questions? You know, they've done that in the past where couples were feeding questions. We saw it with Deanna. Deanna was the question giver, right? We saw it with some other people. I think Gil was like that too. He was always giving the questions to ask. I think Chris and Nicole was in that position where since they're doing well and they're doing okay, that they were feeding the other couples questions to just to get them talk, just to get them to talk and just to get them to converse on TV. I mean, someone was just there because they didn't want to get fined. Someone was just there so they can eat and get a check. But it was good to see Chris and Nicole engage. As I mentioned, I'm riding solo today on a panel discussion. So if you want to chime in or you want to hop in, I will put that up on the board. If you want to get in there, send me an email. I'll send you a link. You can hop on, share your opinions, just share your thoughts about the this past episode of Married at First Sight, episode number 11, the Monthiversaries and Moonshine. So send me an email to that link. Send me an email to that email, and I'll send you a link, and you can hop on with me, and we can join this panel discussion tonight. A lot of things are going on in life, so other panelists may not be able to join. Maybe they'll hop in. But if not, I just wanted to make sure I gave you guys a discussion tonight about Married at First Sight. They want to keep you guys hanging on. And for those who are joining us and popping on, thank you. Appreciate it for rocking with us, for keep being here. But let's deal with Jasmine and Eris, right? Jasmine and Eris. And I've been that guy, and some of you guys have seen me, and I've talked about Eris a lot. That I was kind of, thought Eris was being a little bit truthful. And I appreciated the fact that he was truthful. I appreciated the fact that he was letting her know how he was feeling. But I think he's doing it, and as after this episode, I really think Eris is doing it in a smug way. All right. So I want to apologize to you guys. I'm openly apologizing, right? I've been wrong about Eris, right? I've been wrong about Eris. I'm letting everybody know that I've been wrong about Eris. There you go. This is my apology. And I'm telling you what I've been wrong about Eris about, right? Seeing the conversation between him and his friend, when his friend brought up the fact that, hey, Eris, you're not having sex. How do you be married? You have more sex when you're not married, and now you're married, you're not having any sex, right? What I realized was that this marriage was all about sex for Eris, right? It was all about the look. It was all about what he wanted. He says she's a pretty girl, right? She says she's pretty. She's everything. He has a queen, but it's something that's not making him physically attractive. And it's just, again, let her know what it is. let her know what it is, man. I think Eris has to let her know exactly what it is. If it's her teeth, tell her it's her teeth, right? It's the fact that she doesn't have a big butt, let her know it doesn't have a big butt. She is attractive, so some people she's pretty. Again, if it's an attitude for breast things, whatever it is, don't just keep saying I'm not physically attracted to her. As a man, I think sometimes you have to be very open and very forthright, and Eris has to be open. Eris has to be forthright with Jasmine. This is why I'm not physically attracted to you. You can't keep telling a woman that I'm not physically attracted and not explaining why, right? He needs to explain why, and we need to hear why. Is it because, again, your teeth? Is it because her butt is not big? Is big enough? Is it because she doesn't look like Megan Thee Stallion, or she doesn't look like any other big booty girl that he likes? It because she's not hood enough for him, right? She speaks proper. She speaks with a passionate language, and she is that. Is that what he came on the show looking for something that he was used to, right? And if you don't get what you used, that's why you're on the show. That's what I want him to understand. You're on the show because what you looked for and what you wanted had not worked out, and that's why you're 39 and not married, right? Because you wanted to have this. You wanted to have this era of marriage. And let's be honest, his cousin was correct, right? We may not have liked her, and their relationship may be a little bit weird, but his cousin was correct. Felina was correct about Eris, right? He's not ready for marriage. He's not ready for the situation that he's in right now, and he doesn't know how to handle it. Because he should be able to she should be able to connect with her on a different level, communicate with her, should be able to embrace her, should be able to let her know. And when she asked him, like, yo, I'm not happy with this marriage, right? I am not in this place. I'm not in love. We're not there. Even when Eris read his vows, right? Yeah, and then he realized that he admitted that he wasn't into the marriage every day. I'm like, bruh, you here 4 weeks and you're not into it every day, you're not going to get in it, right? If you at this point, you remember I think Boston season where you had Jasmine and Michael, and then finally the 4 weeks, they're like, oh, by the way, we missed 4 weeks and now let's reconnect. It didn't work out. And I don't think it's going to work out here. They're not going to connect with each other. I think he's going to say no. They probably both say no at decision day. If decision day was today, Eris and Jasmine wouldn't stay together. It's just not working. I think she's being nice now to be nice. There's no romantic involvement there. She's not really romantically attracted to him anymore. If she is, it's very slim. It's not where it was at. It's not 100% like it was from day one. It's probably moving downward, down. The percentages are getting less. And I think sometimes he might intentionally trying to just see how much she would take, right? With the comments he makes and the things that he does. How much can she take before she goes off? And I like the fact that she was at the table like, yo, dog, this is not what I signed up for. This is not what I expect. I didn't sign up to have a friend. Basically, I signed up to be married. And this marriage is not working out. I don't feel love here. I'm not going to say I love you. How can you love somebody who's not giving you love back, right? She's not giving. If they were dating and this wasn't married at first sight, they probably broke up a long time ago. Eris was probably cheated on her a long time ago. I'll put your question up, man. And this is key right here. She doesn't think she needs to know exactly why. He doesn't think she needs to know exactly why. Not like she's going to get her teeth fixed or get a BBL just to please him. No, she's not going to get her teeth fixed or a BBL just to please him. But again, at least she would know, right? Moving into the next relationship, well, knowing, hey, this is what it is. At least you can explain and share your thoughts. Hey, because I think in this married at first sight, I think you need to be open, right? We're open. We're 8 weeks together. I need to be open. Let's communicate. Let's share what's going on. Let's show our feelings. Let's show emotions. Let me know what it is. No, I might not be able to change my teeth. I may not be able to go get a BBL. But guess what? it's me. I can open up different things. Okay, if you're that superficial, I already know that I don't want to be with you. But I can do other things, because if you look at what she's really done for him, she's really kind of catered to his needs and met his needs, and that's still not pleasing enough for him. And I'm not telling him to go have sex with her. That's not even about that, because again, it's not about the sex aspect. It's about him being physically attracted to somebody. And we don't know what his physical attraction level is. And not that how can you say she's pretty? This is where he's talking out of both sides of his lips. He says she's pretty instead she's attracted, but he's not physically attracted to her. What are you attracted to then, right? I don't know. Eric probably is cheating on. I'm not saying cheating on. I think he's going to be committed to the process. I think he's also conscious to what's going on TV. I think a lot of these people now are more conscious of what's going on TV. They don't want to look bad in the eyes of public, right? Of the public opinion. They know after the show, the emails, the DMs, all that's going to get kicked in, and I don't think they want to be able to do that. So Eric's just playing P. He's doing the PR move. He's doing just enough so you don't call him a prick, just enough so you don't call him arrogant, which he is kind of arrogant. Just enough so everybody is not going to be flooding his DMs at the end of this and looking for him. He is one of those guys. He's a pretty boy, and everybody's giving it to him. Everybody's throwing everything on the table for him. And again, if it had not worked with the girls with the big butts and the big breasts and all this, try something different. That's what I always think. Like, hey, if we get on the show, try something. They give you something different, right? Trust the expert. Why come on here if you're not going to trust the experts? Why come on Married at First Sight if you're not going to buy into what the experts are saying and just know, hey, this is what they're asking me to do this, so let me follow the steps. So it's like buying some cake mix, right, or some cornbread mix. It's Sunday. People make cornbread on Sunday, and not following the instructions on the back of the box, right? Here's what the experts are suggesting. Let's try this, and let's see how it works. She's overwhelmed with him. She's done with him. She's frustrated. Even going to the rage room, you can see that she was frustrated with him. She needed to let some tension out. Eris didn't even wait for the instructions, right? I'm like, man, at least wait for the lady to give instructions. He feel frustrated. He want to get back on track. Do you guys believe Eris when he talks, or is Eris just a bunch of hot air? Are you feeling him? He says some things that are right, but now I'm starting to see that, hey, yo, bro, you say a lot of good stuff, but you really don't mean what you say. Because if you mean what you say, you'll go the extra mile. Like, here we go. Prime opportunity, right? If it's your month anniversary, yes, you go to the rage room. That's fine. I'm not asking you to do the helicopter, but where was the true feeling of the love? They sat down and they read their stuff, because I just believe Married at First Sight set that up, right? The month anniversary, let's set up the picture, let them go through the year, let them go through the wedding album and all that. Where was Eris's touch to any of the month anniversary stuff? Where was Jasmina's touch to any of the month anniversary stuff? You can tell that they're disconnected, and they're right at this point they're going through the most. And he acknowledged, he told her, right, I'm not putting forth effort. Like, bruh, she sees that. You ain't putting forth effort. Let it ride. You're done. In 4 weeks, you haven't put forth effort. What makes you think you can flip the switch now? It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I think Jasmine and Eris is done, and they're just going to be riding out the next 4 weeks. Your thoughts? Once again, if you want to join me, hit me up. Here's the email once again on the screen. You want to join the panel? If you want to discuss one-on-one with me, let's discuss this. Let's talk about Married at First Sight from this past week. Again, I wanted to make sure you guys got a video today, just because some of the panelists could not make it. Jack's doing some things. We had 2 banquets to go to today for wrestling for our kids and different things, so that's why we're coming on a little bit late. But we wanted to give you a panel discussion. I wanted to make sure I hit this past episode of Married at First Sight. Let me know your thoughts. There we go. Comment Harrison, immature, he ruined the experiment. He is stuck at 19 and hasn't developed any further. She does deserve better, but who's better for, right? I think they should they do a Married at First Sight reboot? Not reboot, but take those that had bad partners and try to mix them up with other people that had partners and try to put them together. Because, who will go through this process again, right? She got a bad partner. I think that the experts and the production sometimes should do a better service. I think before you pick people, I think you should see how they live for a week. They go to their house and look through their drawers and sniff through things like that. But I think at a certain point, I think Married at First Sight should follow the people for about a week or two and see if they really fit in. Is this the person that we really want on the show, right? Because if the goal, I know it's an experiment. Is the goal of Married at First Sight now to have 5 couples to say yes? Or is the goal of Married at First Sight to allow people just to, what's the word I'm looking for? Just to go through the motions so we can be entertained. I'd rather have 5, in my opinion, I'd rather have 5 couples who are pretty much boring, but yet have a successful marriage at the end. Instead of having 2 couples or 1 couple or 1 group to make it every time and we get everything that's explosive. That's the goal. Hey, every week. We say it every season, right? How did this person get past the vetting process, right? We talked about that with Alyssa last time. How did Alyssa get past the vetting process, right? How did she get there? Shoot, Hurricane K, how did she get past the vetting process, right? You knew somebody was very explosive. How did they get past the vetting process? At what point do Married at First Sight say, you know what, I'm going to go to these people's house and watch them for a week or 2 and see how they interact and how they respond and how they deal with some things? It makes you wonder, is it love? Is it about love or is it about TV? Because ultimately, even though this experiment, you're messing with people's lives, right? They might have signed up for it. They might have do this, but they're messing with people's lives. Let's be honest. Dom, where the Dom was at, Dom wasn't ready for this, right? McKinley might not even been ready for this. If you really, truth be told, you're just moving in, you're getting situated in the city, you ain't been in 5 or 6 months, and you want to go on a show and just marry some random person. You know, you may not be ready for this. So we can go through a whole bunch of the cast, and I might do that one day. Who was and who wasn't ready. We just might do a whole matchmaking special. Let's get together and try to figure out which matches will work somewhere else. Because I really think if you had Eris and Alexis from last season, probably would work, right? Alexis and Eris might work if you have match. If you can cross seasons together. I think Eris and Alexis is what could be done. But again, he was out in California, so he still got picked for that show, but he didn't. So we might have to do that one time. Totally agree, man. Look, totally agree with you. Here we go. Eris, Dom, and Kirsten had no business in the show. They are making the show the most boring. Right? They are making the show boring. Kirsten, since you opened the door, I'm Kirsten and Shaquille. Look. I did a video on this, so you can check it out, but I'm going to probably say some of the same things. How do you go from not wanting to kiss this guy? How do you go from not wanting to kiss him, you didn't like him, you're not attracted to him, and now you're mad and you're upset because he doesn't kiss you and hug you when he comes home? What are you're talking out of both sides of your neck? Let's take something we didn't see. Did I miss something? She's opening up to him. She's communicating when she's not opening up, but she likes him even more now. She likes a bald head. She likes all that. But she's doing something totally different. You want him to be around. You want to be around him. But Shaq at the point, he don't want to be home. I've seen this before. If Shaq's coming home late and he's coming home 9, 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night, I'm sorry. Most universities are shut down by that part. What work is he doing in the office that he can't do at home? You ain't mentoring that late. You have a wife at home. And that's my issue with Shaq. If he really want the marriage, you make your way home. Because you say, you know what? I'm a newlywed. I'm newly married. You know what? I can skip the gym today. Mentors. School is over. We're going to meet at 8, 9 till 9 o'clock, but I need to be home by 9:30. I need to meet here. I need to get home, make sure my wife, I know what time my wife goes to sleep. So I get Kirsten's point in that aspect of it, right? She wants some more quality time for Shaq. But Shaq, she had pushed him away so much that Shaq doesn't he's done. Hey, Shaq literally is probably checked out right about now. And he's checking out. He's trying. But when you keep pushing somebody away enough, they're not going to be home. Shaq is like, yo, I'm not coming. Shaq's like, nope. I'm done, and that's where he's at because she doesn't want to open up. She doesn't want to share with him. She is at a point where the kissing and hugging, she tells her friend, I'm like Shaq from when Shaq was on After Party, the very first time he was in, he was like, yo, she's one way when the cameras are off. She's another way when the cameras are on. And I think when the cameras are on, she wants to lovey-dovey and she wants all this and she wants to make it as if she is doing all the right things. But when the camera goes away, she's probably pushing his advances away. And I'm gonna get back to everybody's comments here. I think she's full of it. she don't like that, man. I don't think she likes him. And but I do think though that she's torn. I think there's a sense that she may like certain things about him and certain aspects of him, but I don't think she fully invested in the process. She probably doesn't want to be married to him the whole way for the whole time. She wants to see what he can do. How you be married to somebody for 4 weeks, right? This is the part that blew me up, that really made me like, oh, wait. And does not bring them around family and friends, right? Is she in the witness protection program? Like, did they pick somebody who is like, don't want anybody to know about their life? Because we go back to her apartment, there's nothing in the apartment, right? There's no pictures of family, no pictures of friends, no mama pictures, no daddy pictures. There's no family albums. There's nothing. She has nothing to say anything about her, right? Then she's from Nashville. You have no family or friends that came over. See, I think she just has one friend that came over from when they was at the when they did the party, right? Friend came over, that one couple. But like, where's the rest of your family at, right? Where's the rest of the people that you can interact Shaq with? Shaq, like, we've been married for weeks and I haven't seen none of your family. Even when you're not filming, right? You would think she would call her mom, or we've seen people FaceTime their mom or FaceTime their dad. This episode, we just saw Nicole's dad come over. Like, where's Kirsten's family, right? Where's the ones that is she like, well, I don't want to bring you around my family if I'm not going to be, we're not going to be here any longer than 8 weeks. Well, it can be, you can understand that. You don't want to get too attached to him. But how about you get attached to him, right? You get attached to him. And if your family can say, hey, by the way, if your family can read them, or your family, because even in the midst of you dating, right, you bring the people around your family, you want your dad to look at them or read them, and your mom or your sister or that aunt who crazy who read everybody, girl, you should keep him. He's a keeper, right? Or girl, you should let him go. I know this, that about him. You want people to be able to do that. Which is your family. Even though you guys are married, they should find some things that you might miss because you're in the part of a relationship. It's almost like a corner man in boxing or in wrestling. When you have people in the corner, sometimes they see things that you don't see because you're so engulfed in the relationship. And so I think when you bring people around your family and around your friends and they see things that you don't see, you allow them to interact with people, right? That's why I appreciate Gina for bringing Clint to her job. Her girls kind of grilled him a little bit and was like, hey, he might be a keeper. She needs to bring, if she wants a relationship with Shaq, Shaq has to be around her family. And her excuse about, oh, I'm not sure, I want this to be longer than 8 weeks. It may not be longer than 8 weeks. I see her saying yes at this point, and I see Shaq saying no because he checked out. Because she doesn't communicate, because she's sending mixed signals when cameras are on and cameras are off. Again, as I mentioned, she's getting notes underneath the door from Nicole and talking about, Shaq, you should do this, Shaq should that. And Shaq even addressed this with her. Shaq, oh, that's just Nicole. No, you need to say, hey, Nicole, stop giving me advice. Or Nicole, we're good. Or it almost seems as if, I don't know about y'all, didn't it seem like they might have done something because Shaq was really irritated at the table when she was like, oh, there's a lack of intimacy. Like, what you mean there's a lack of intimacy? Are we not kissing? Am I not rubbing up against you, right? Am I not the big spoon? Am I not you the little spoon tonight? Am I not really seeing you naked, or I really not putting my arm around you? Like what's going on? Like, do you think Shaq and Kirsten had some interaction or some relations? Why was he kind of upset? It might be a possibility, right? That's one of the things. Or if you bring Shaq around your family, they may even give Shaq an insight into why you got walls built up, right? Bring him around the family. Say, look, man, when she was young, this happened or that happened, and this is how her walls built up, or this is how all her relationships have been. And Shaq can ask the family, how can I get past the walls that are built up, right? Because in order for me to fix a problem, I got to know what the problem is. And she's not sharing what the problem is. And maybe somebody hurt her real bad in a relationship. But then again, it might be somebody who hurt her real bad in her family or in her life. And now he has to work through this because, again, she's coming into the relationship with a lot of baggage. And he's got to sift through the bags and do all this in order just to have a decent relationship with her. Family's important when you deal in relationships. Yeah, he's a legitimate PhD, right? He might want to dump her. But I don't think he's begging. I think he's trying to build a relationship that he has, right? I think he's trying to go for the 4 weeks. I think Shaq, as I mentioned earlier, that Shaq probably checked out. I think Shaq is done. I really do. I think Shaq is checking out, or if he's not checked out yet, he's slowly but surely drifting away just based off his actions, right? You can see some of the comments, the frustration, the actions behind it, that he's kind of drifting away from her because she won't open up, she won't communicate. I said it, and I said it in every video that I talk about them too. If you don't want to communicate on camera, when the production crew goes away, right? When the production crew goes away, share with your husband. Share with him. Let him understand this is why my walls are up. And she's like, well, I'm bringing my walls down. Really? Like, and I need Shaq to be more vocal to her. Like, hey, this is what I need you to do. These are the walls that I see. These are walls that you're bringing down. I need you to bring this down, right? Because I don't feel it. You want me to hug and kiss you when I come in the house? Cool, no problem. I'll do that every day. If I'm Shaq, since I know she wants to hug and kisses, and because she never really, think about it, she never really shared it with Shaq. She shared it with her friend. So how do you expect him to know if you don't ever share it with me? If we're learning each other after 8 weeks, what you need to do is this. Tell me when I come home, or if you sleep the next morning, when you see me, by the way, you didn't hug and kiss me last night when you came home. Can you give me when you come home, can you give me a hug and kiss? And Shaq should be like, you know what, I can do that. Because again, it's about communication. She is totally correct. They're not communicating. She's not telling him what she wants, and he's not telling her what he needs. And when you never communicate in a relationship and you just go through emotions, and that's what they have. They have a going through the motions relationship. It's not 8 weeks. 8 weeks is not enough time to scale personal walls. I totally agree with you. 8 weeks is enough, and 4 weeks is enough to know what their walls are, right? And to know what walls you are scaling and know what equipment I need to scale that wall. Because guess there might be some walls that you build up. You're not going to tear the whole wall down in 8 weeks, but guess what? I can put probably a little chink in that wall, or I can get to the point where I can see over top of the wall in 8 weeks. I can get to the point where you say, you know what? Well, let's work on these things together so we can maneuver. You can have that person build together. You probably won't climb it in 8 weeks. Might not even climb it in 8 years, right? Depends on what the wall is and how big it is. But you can be at a point where you can say, you know what? Let's work on this thing. I understand the problem. So let's see what tools I need in order to tear the wall down. What tools? If it's therapy, if it's counseling, if it's communication every day, is me being intentional, right? In my relationship. In relationships, you have to be intentional about certain things, right? So I know there's a problem in this relationship. I have to be intentional. I'll give you an example. With me and Jack, right? She's not here, so I can tell you a story. Just don't tell I told y'all. Being an intentional relationship, when we first got married, I had to be intentional in the relationship to make sure that I met her, asked her, what does she need? Because I used to go downstairs and I used to be selfish. I used to fix one plate of food, one plate of this, one plate of that. So I had to be intentional about, hey, I'm going downstairs to get a drink of water. Would you like something? I'm going downstairs to get some food. Do you need something? Do you want anything? So I had to be intentional, right? I know I'm being intentional again about when we have discussions, right? I'm being intentional. All right. In this instance, do you need me to be a listener or do you need me to be a fixer? Right? Do you need me to listen to what your issue is, or do you need me to listen to your problem or your situation, or do you need me to be a fixer? Because we are men, sometimes we are fixers. So in this case, being intentional, I think in relationships, he has to be intentional. He said here, he ain't climbing the walls. Here we go. I ain't climbing your walls. I ain't no mountain climber either. You let me in or not. She will. Again, you're going to have to let somebody in. She's going to have to let them in a little bit. Even if you knock a hole in the wall, right? Create a door and get in. But again, you're different people. And so what I've learned is in this case, in necessarily walls or even when you got baggage, when I got baggage, you got baggage, we can't embrace each other. We got all the baggage in our hands. Somebody's going to have to drop the baggage, right? Somebody's going to have to let the baggage down. Somebody's going to have to tear the walls down. No, it's not our job or his job to tear the walls down. It's her to be able to get the help that she needs to embrace to break the walls down. If it's a pride issue, she need to get to the point where she know what, I can let my husband in, right? I need to let him in so he's not going to hurt me, or she needs to trust, hey, Shaq is here. He's with me, and he's not going to hurt me or harm me. And that's the case what the wall is. I don't know. If some of you guys figure out what her wall is, please let me know. Maybe we can talk about it and discuss it. I don't know what her wall is at this point. It could be the fact that she thinks she's a perfectionist. It could be the fact that she doesn't want to be hurt. Again, that she's been hurt again. Whoever hurt her really hurt her real deep. It could be something with psychological issues. I don't know. So, but whatever it is, we have to let him in. And so she's gonna have to deal with that, whether it's through counseling, whether it's through her and Shaq having communication. Because if she does not, and this is where Pastor Cal and Dr. Pepper need to come in, and maybe be through intimate exercises, right? Through painting each other, some tantric yoga for a trust fall. I don't know, fall off the couch and let him catch you. Whatever case may be, it has to be something where she can build the trust up and to know that, hey, he has me, he's not going to hurt me. But at this point, if she doesn't understand it, she can't read it, Shaq is pretty much done. Unless something happens where he can build up the confidence again for her and with her. Because again, Shaq is coming home late. He's getting irritated with comments and questions. And his thing is like this. This is the biggest thing. And she has to understand this. Shaq said it on After Party. He also said it on the show when he was talking to her. Why is this the first I'm hearing about it? You talk about this in front of the group, but you don't talk about this when we by ourselves. Like, do she feel more comfortable in front of the group? Is she scared of Shaq? Like, why are you sharing? You're sharing this in a group setting, but you're not sharing this with the man that you're with. And this is where Shaq has a problem at. And this is where Shaq should learn. If you know your wife, she's telling you, I need you to ask questions. And he got it towards the end because he asked her a question. He needs to now and step down, look, and say, you know what? These are questions that, since she play her game, if he wants a relationship, you want me to ask questions. And so when I ask questions, I expect answers. Nobody asks a question when they don't. No one asks a question and does not expect an answer. So if she wants him to ask questions, she should be willing and ready to answer the question. And so that's how he needs to do it. He needs to ask all as many questions as he can. And when they sit down, like, here's the rules, here's the parameters. I'm going to ask you questions, and I need you to answer. If you're not going to answer, there's no reason for me to ask questions. How else is he going to know how to treat you if you don't tell him, right? Because every man can't treat. There's some aspects of men treating women that are the same, but every woman is not the right. I can't treat my Tesla like I don't have a Tesla. I can't treat a Tesla like I treat a gasoline car because one's electric and one's gas, right? They're going to be different. They're different. I'm going to have to do different things in the maintenance of it and to maintain it. It to be totally different from what it is. And so Shaq can't expect her to be like every other woman he dated because she's different. Kirsten can't expect Shaq to be like every other man she's dated before him. He's different. So now we got to explain and got to have to communicate. How do you need me to take care of you? And how do you need me to take care of you? And this is the conversation they need to have in order for them to meet each other's needs and in order for them to build trust, in order for the walls to start tumbling down in their relationship. I guarantee. Oh, you're right, man. Hey, I get that. The dude that she dated before is probably laughing. He has probably been intimate with her way sooner, and that's why she has an issue with Shaq. I mean, think about relationships, right? How many people suffer in relationships because of the past relationship that the person was in because they never dealt with that issue, or they never dealt with the baggage, or they never dealt with the hurt, or never dealt with the pain. Again, I think those are the questions that needs to be asked coming onto the show. What kind of hurt do you have? What kind of pain do you have? Are you going through some trauma from past relationships? And really dig into the root of it before you start matching them up with people that you're giving this man a whole bunch of issues that he never had before, right? At least in the dating process, he had an opportunity to say, you know what, yes or no. I want to be with you. I don't want to be with you. I just feel like Kirsten will keep moving the goalposts no matter what Shaq does. She doesn't want this, and instead of saying that, she plays the game. They're too old for this. I agree. They are old for this. They are definitely too old for this. And you might be right. She might keep moving the goalposts. But again, if I'm Shaq, I want to see if she moved the goalposts. Because again, you want me to hug and kiss you when I come home? Guess what I'm going to start doing? I'm going to start hugging and kissing you. And when you move the goalposts, I'm like, what's the problem? Like, what's the issue? Not in a confrontational type of way, but you asking me to do this. You want this from me, and you need me to do this, or you saying this is what you need to open up. This is what you need to build our relationship. This is what you need to make it go a little bit further and go and get along and go to the place where it needs to go to. And so now I'm doing this, and if she doesn't respond, what's the problem? Now I can make the conscious decision because in this, I really do believe married first sight. If you put your best foot forward and meet the needs of your spouse, and they still say no on decision day, it's not you. But can you leave after 8 weeks and knowing that you didn't give you 100%, right? That you didn't do your best. that you didn't give everything you could to the marriage, right? Because that's what marriage is about, seeing if I can make it work. So in these 8 weeks, that's why my problem with Eris came in now, right? I realized that my eyes are open. I see the clear ways. When he said I'm not putting in the best for my effort every day, I was like, you know what, Eris, I can't rock with you anymore. I can't rock with you anymore because you just told me that you're not giving it your best every day. Why not? And that's what this show is about. If you're giving your best every day, it might work. If you're giving your best every day and your spouse says no, at least you know it's not you, right? It's them. So if Shaq can honestly say, I'm giving my best every day, and so he start doing what she asked, hugging and kissing and doing all this and spending some quality time with her. If her quality time is you sitting there asking questions, boom, let it go. All right. Again, where's the extras, right? These couples need help. They need a lot of help. All right, bring the experts. I agree with you, Mona. The experts need to come in. The experts need to be like they were in season 1, 2, and 3 of the show, right? They didn't need more vocal. Matter of fact, they might need to be like it's on Australia and the UK, where they meet every week. I think with the experts, and the experts are discussing with them what's going on. I understand them being in a group setting with each other, but let's be honest. If the blind is leading the blind, is anybody leading anybody? Right? Nicole and Chris can't be leading Eris and Jasmine into a new aspect of the relationship. They can't even understand what they're going through, right? Because Chris is attracted to Nicole. Chris is physically and sexually attracted to Nicole. They're not experts. So again, when you have those that are in a relationship, I understand group therapy, right? Group therapy, I totally understand. But where's the experts in the midst of this group therapy? While they're having group therapy, they should be an expert inside the group therapy, explaining, hey, this is what's going on. This is okay. Why do you feel this way? Okay, cool. Here are some exercises. Let's give them exercises each and every week to do. All right. Shaq and Jasmine are learning that you can't negotiate attraction. Oh, definitely. Yo, you can't negotiate attraction. But again, Kirsten says she's attracted to Shaq now, right? She's rubbing above the bald head more. She's attracted to him. She has grown to be attracted to him. If that's what I had to take her at what she says, right? She says she's growing to be attracted to him. So we got to take her for face value. Face value is that she's attracted to him. Some of you don't believe it. I don't know if I believe it or not. She says the right things when the camera's on. Man, a couple should meet with they should meet with them at the honeymoon. Because if you watch the last couple series, the last couple of seasons, most couples, there was at least one couple that was done by the end of the honeymoon. That I already checked out. That was like, you know what, this is not going to work. This is not going to happen. It's not going to go into fruition. The couple, the extra should definitely meet with them right after honeymoon. Because think about this, or meet with them right before they go to honeymoon. Because the couples meet with the family members, right? Before the honeymoon, there's an episode they do a whole episode. The family, you meet with the other person's family, and now after they meet with the other person's family, they should meet with the experts before the honeymoon even takes place. I agree with that. And say, this is what we want you to work on the expert. Work on the honeymoon. Keisha and her husband are new. I like Keisha. I think Keisha's at a great spot for where she's at now. She learned a lot. She's had some marriages that have not been so successful. She might be able to help them on that aspect of it. Even if Dr. Pepper and Pastor Cal can't do the honeymoon, you can bring in Devon Franklin again, right? And the other doctor, Dr. Pia, and let them do the honeymoon stuff or FaceTime or whatever case may be, so there can be an interaction between the two groups of people. I think if the goal of the show is to have successful marriages, why aren't they receiving all the help they need? And if they are receiving all the help they're getting, how come we don't see all the help? Yeah, he talked about what they lied about, what they wanted. He was talking about Dominique McKenzie, about what they wanted. And again, they are totally different because you had one who really didn't fill out the application or process. You had one who's been traveling just to get married or probably be on TV. And what they wanted was relationships, right? They lied about she said she wanted an older man who was able to meet her needs and be companion. He wanted he didn't say what he wanted. He didn't say he wanted African-American women, a Caucasian woman. He didn't say he wanted a younger woman, an older woman. I mean, how do you get picked on the show and you left your application kind of blank? You know what I'm saying? Or you really wasn't specific about what your needs are. You took more thought into what you want at Burger King or McDonald's than you did about the spouse that you want. Not saying necessarily saying they're going to give you the main spouse that you need, but they're going to give you what you, for the most part, what you kind of asked for. I think they were kind of doomed from the start because he wasn't as adventurous as she was. She was kind of immature, and she really wasn't willing to compromise for McKinley. So that's where they was at. But the experts could have probably fixed that. Like, hey, open up, compromise before it got to the point where they were willing to separate. I think couples should be, if you committed to it, I think you should be committed to 8 weeks. I don't think you should be able to walk away. I just don't think. I think in the middle of the program or the middle of the show, I think you have to deal with it for 8 weeks. I need to see that entertainment on TV, right, for 8 weeks. Don't let them walk away. Hey, because again, in real marriages, you don't walk away in 8 weeks. I mean, if you are, you try to work through it. You try to work it out. And then for sure, I think you need to be on for a whole 8 weeks. We need experts. You do not. Hey, here's a question. Is it time for new experts? You're right. They have Nicole spout advice, but she has no clue. She originally looked at Eris and Jasmine and read the body language incorrectly. She totally did. That's a good point. I forgot about that. She did read the body language incorrectly with Eris and Jasmine. No, Eris and Jasmine just know how to play the game. Right? Eris and Jasmine just know how to be cordial to each other in public. If there was something going on with him, you never know. Eris is so laid back. Him and Jasmine could have had an argument, and Eris was gonna be set there like, okay, you gonna feed me? I'm on camera for the next 2 hours. All right, let me make one comment about sex, and we keep it moving. All right, even Jasmine are not gonna put their business out in the streets like that. That's just not how they roll. So, yeah, I agree. I think it might be time for new experts. It definitely might be time for new experts, and that they may need to get more involved. And the show, we may need to see more experts get involved, the different experts, or need to see Dr. Pepper and Pastor Cal really get involved. I mean, think about the last 2 seasons, right? We have from the San Diego season, no couple still married. From the Boston season, there's no couple still married. From the Houston season, which was before that, if I'm not mistaken, there is still no couple married. So the last 3 seasons, none of the couples, they stay together after the 8 weeks, but none of them are still married to this day. So is that on the experts, or is that on the experts, or is that on the experiment? Yep. The last successful was on the Atlanta season, and that was Brianna and Vincent, who, if you don't know, recently just had a baby. That has been the last successful couple who stayed together past the reunion and past the 8 weeks. You know what? That's not an idea. Use 5 experts and give each couple an expert based off what their situation is. Based off their situation, based off their difficulty in their relationship, you have a financial expert, you have a sexual expert, you have a emotional expert who's dealing with emotional issues. You have an expert who deal with past a communication expert, right? Will teach you how to communicate, and you guys let me know what the 5th one is. I can't think of a 5th problem or situation that you could have an expert for. But you give 5 experts they cover all aspects of life, and let them meet each and every one of them. Well, 0-15 for the last 15. Well, 0-15 for the last 15 couples. That's terrible. 0-15 for the last 15 couples. But I keep watching every week. I like it. I enjoy it. I keep talking. Enjoy talking to you guys about it each and every week. Yeah, I totally agree. Dom definitely should be penalized, right? For not trying. Dom came because her mother signed her up and she had nothing to lose. Kirsten wants a lifetime with Shaq, but has not kissed him after 4 weeks. She kissed him. She just hadn't kissed him on camera, but I do agree with every other point. Good point. Every other point there is, yeah, I think each couple should get their own expert. Yep, I think that is the case. Give each couple their own expert who they check in with, who get to know them. Because think about it, each couple get their own producer. If you didn't know that, each couple has their own producer, right? There's a producer attached to each couple. Producers attached to each couple. So if you can give them producers, I think you should give them an expert. So your success rate would be better than 0-15. Yep. The success rate was better than 0-15. Hey, but I appreciate you guys for rocking with me for the last hour, man. I'm sorry we didn't have the full panel on the night. Everybody's life is busy. We had things going on. Like I said, we supposed to do this at 2. Something came up in my family that we had to take care of. My son had a banquet. You got kids. Sometimes they forget to tell you about things. We had a banquet we had to go to. Then I had another banquet I needed to go to. And I told you guys 8 o'clock. And then it was able to hop on until later than that. But I definitely wanted to make sure I hopped on and talked about Married at First Sight. Next week, the panel will be back together. So I appreciate you guys for rocking with me tonight. For those that waited for that time waiting for me, I didn't want to leave you hanging. Waiting for the panel. Didn't want to leave you hanging. Thanks for rocking with us. Suggestions. Leave your suggestions in the comment section. Let me know how I did by myself. All right. Would you like to see more of us just having this conversation and discussions? I appreciate you guys. Appreciate you rocking with us. If you're first time visitor, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Hit that bell notification so you don't miss any of our reviews, any of our talks, any of our chats. Once again, appreciate each and every one of you. You guys have a great night. Enjoy it, and we rock with you again on Wednesday. Check out a new video that we have Thursday about Married at First Sight, and we'll see how things go on. So if you want my opinions real quick, here it is. At the halfway point, this is the couple that I think is going to make it. I think Nicole and Chris is the only couple that's going to make it. Everybody else, I think, is going to say no at decision day. I don't know which way, who's going to say no in that relationship. I'll give you more detail a little bit later, but right now, I can definitely say if decision day was today, the only couple that will probably make it probably be Chris and Nicole. Everybody else, there will be somebody in that relationship that would no. Hey, you guys have a great week. Enjoy. Appreciate you. Thank you very much for chiming in. If you just got hopped on, watch the beginning of the video. Make sure you like it and share it with somebody else. Good night.